evening, everyone. Welcome to Cooking on the Road with Chris. Today's menu, we're going to have a little chicken Puttenesca. There's some other names for it, but they're not as family friendly. So we have promiscuous chicken, slutty chicken, or chicken of the prostitute. So don't let the name fool you. It's a really good dish. It's absolutely delicious. And it's pretty simple. All we're gonna have is olive oil, some chicken breast, a little black pepper, a little red pepper flake, some capers, a little bit of salt, black olives, crushed tomatoes, and a little tomato paste, and then a little parsley at the end, and of course some basil and onion. So let's get started here. So what I want to do is I want to put a little olive oil in my pan. Not a whole lot, probably I'd say 2-3 teaspoons. All right, first thing I want to do is I want to get my onion going. So you peel it. Cut the roots off. I don't want the onions too big, so I'm gonna cut it in half, and then all you do is just basically, you just want to slice it. Not too thick, but not too thin. Get my heat on here. There's a little wind out today, so hopefully it won't bother us too bad. I like a lot of onion. I'm using a whole. This is probably a medium to a large size onion, red onion. When you're cutting up your onions, make sure you don't cut yourself. Let that oil get nice and hot. I need a better stove. While that's doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and start opening up my cans. That way they're ready to go. Cans are open. I'm gonna grab the chicken. I'm using thin chicken, just boneless, skinless chicken breasts that are already cut thin. Don't want too many of them. I'm just gonna salt and pepper, or just pepper them a little bit. You can season them however you want. My pan's good and hot now. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw my chicken in. Let that start getting some color to it. Make sure you don't crowd the chicken, because then all you're going to do is just steam it. See, the rest of that chicken, I'm going to have me I'm going to cook it up for a chicken sandwich later. So let that cook. While that's doing that, I'm going to clean up my little mess, little trash can. Next, I want to get me a little bit of garlic. I like a lot of garlic in mine, so I'm gonna use quite a bit. 3 whole cloves. So the reason why while the chicken's cooking, it's kind of warm out here too, so you have to pardon my sweating a little bit. But the reason why they call it promiscuous chicken, or we'll say chicken of the night, is because there's several different stories that you hear. One story is about farmer's wife while the farmer's out in the field working away from the house. You know, she's back home not being faithful, but in order to keep the ruse up to where he thinks that she's still being faithful, she has come up with a dish that seems like she's been working in the kitchen all day to make this food. So she used some aromatics, you know, onion, garlic. A lot of people put anchovies in here. I don't like anchovies, so I'm not using them. But she put some of that in there, and the tomatoes. And so it comes together real fast. And so it seemed like she was slaving in the kitchen all day, but she really actually wasn't. And so it kept the ruse up. Another one is that while in Naples, where supposedly this all started, was in a brothel. So you had the ladies working in the brothel, and in order to keep the customer's strength up after working all day, they had to have a good meal, plus they had to have something quick to eat between customers. So they came up with this dish because it's really fast, and that's what they fed the customers and themselves, because it was cheap, readily available, and fast. And so therefore it got the name Puttenesca. But it's actually a really good dish. It's considered to be, depending on how you make it, it can be a Whole30 compliant, because you don't have a lot of processed foods. If you don't use regular pasta, which I'm using regular pasta, and say you use zoodles, you know, you can still keep it almost keto. So it's a very healthy dish. It's low fat, because like I said, you're just using chicken breast, and you don't want to cook them all the way through. You just want to try to get a little color on them. So we're going to go ahead and flip them over here. Let them cook on the other side for a little bit, because you're going to put them back in the sauce, and they're going to finish up in the sauce. So while that's doing that, I'm going to slide my onions over here out of the way a little bit. Crush some garlic here. And then peel it. There's easier ways to peel garlic, but for my sake, I don't have all the luxury of having all that stuff, so I just do it this way. So today we're actually in Nebraska, a little place called York, Nebraska. It's right outside of Lincoln, west of Lincoln, probably 30-40 miles. Trying to beat there were some storms back to the west earlier, so I'm trying to get this done before that. Like I said, it don't take long to cook this stuff. The prep is the longest part. Once you got it all together, It gets done pretty fast. So all we're going to do now is we're just going to put a little chop on it. Want to be careful not to get your fingers in here. It ain't got to be perfect. Check my chicken. It's getting a little color on it. Looking pretty good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set the chicken to the side here. Now, chicken's got some color. I'm gonna go ahead and throw my onions in. And then I'm gonna bring my chicken out. So I moved the camera here so you can see. Put a little parsley on it. You see how it's starting to cook. So you got nice sauce and the noodles, you know, chicken. It's still cooking. You can move it around. But it's ready to serve. You know, I use a little bit more tomato than what I would normally use. Like I said, you could have got away with using a 14-ounce can. I went ahead and used 24 because I wanted to have some leftovers. But that's pretty much it. And now I'll plate it up and show you what it looks like after I plate it. So while y'all weren't looking, I went ahead and made up a little spinach Dijon mustard salad. It's got some eggs, some cheese, some dried cranberries. So, and then there's the Puttenesca, and then of course you see there it is again. So that's pretty much it. Well, I want to thank y'all again for joining me here today to make this one of my favorite meals, chicken Puttenesca. So I hope y'all enjoyed. Hope y'all are entertained a little bit. If you like what I do, you know, hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so that way y'all can get notified when I make a video. Even though it might be a little while, but you know, if y'all like what I do, hey, make a comment. Tell me what y'all think. If you don't like it, you like it. If you want me to do something different, hey, let me know. All right, again, thanks for joining me for Cooking on the Road with Chris. And until the next time, have a good one. Keep the rubber side down and keep it between the lines.